Paladin SVG Inc. alarm solution is second to none. We offer intrusion alarm systems, security radar, active infrared beams, and emergency alarm systems. Get perimeter protection for your premises. Active infrared beams protect large areas. Our radar video linkage solution sends data to PTZ cameras for active target tracking so you can take immediate action. Intrusion alarm systems offer reliable protection and records video the moment the alarm is triggered and sends footage to users via email or the app. Intelligent alarm systems mean you can control your home from anywhere in the world. Find out more at Paladin SVG Inc. at telephone number 784.
Locally Made is sponsored by Inter-Caribbean Airways.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
This is Locally Made. My name is Jillian Cruikshank. Join us on IKTV channel 112, where we premiere and air Locally Made, a program featuring locally made produce right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We'll show you how it's made and how it is done. Remember, every Thursday, 8 p.m. on IKTV channel 112. Locally Made is sponsored by Inter-Caribbean Airways. To the viewers of IKTV channel 112, my name is Jillian Cruikshank, and this is another episode of Locally Made. Today we're here at the Adult and Continuing Education Department. We're going to be speaking with one of the instructors here, Mrs. Merle Woodley Jelliso. She's going to be showing us how to do baskets and just different things that she does here, but basically she's going to take us through the process of making one of her handcrafted baskets.
So good afternoon, I am Merle Jelliso, and as you say, I'm the instructor, one of the instructor at Adult and Continuing Education, and here in French's we do basket weaving, tie-dye, grass mat weaving from the vetiver grass, and other things that other persons want to learn to do. So today I'm going to demonstrate for you how the basket weaving is being done. After the straw is being cleaned and rolled like this, we start by pulling them back out. Now you have to use a dull knife.
Okay.
If the knife is sharp, when you pull, it can cut.
Yeah.
So it have to be dull. Not too dull that it cannot cut, but dull enough. And it have to be a little stiff, because if it's too slim, it's gonna bend and it could break and cut you. Before you cut these pieces of straw, you have to have your pattern of whatever basket you're going to do, because you need to measure the straw before you cut them.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use this pattern, and I'm going to start by cutting my pieces of straw. So for this basket, you're going to lay 1 inch in the top and about 2 inches in the bottom.
Okay.
Because you need excess whenever you are weaving. When you finish cutting like this, you put your pattern and you line up your straw. Use a book or a piece of board, or you can also use some Scotch tape to hold it down.
To basically keep it in place.
Yes,
Okay.
and make sure what you do now, you put the pattern on top of the pieces that coming down to make sure you have enough. So now that we know we have enough and it's wide enough, we are going to strip them, because you have to strip them. You could strip them in all different sizes, or if you want, you could leave it as big as this.
Okay.
And the straw them have a front and they have a back. This piece here
The dark
is
piece.
the back,
Okay.
and this is the front. The color does not matter, because sometimes the whole straw dark.
Okay.
What you're looking at is there's a curve in the straw. So if you do that, you will have a curve.
In the center there, I can see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you do it like this, you're not gonna get a curve. It's gonna open back. See? It open right back. But if you do it like that, it curves. So you know this side is the wrong side.
Okay.
So when you're putting them down on top the table to weave now, the right side of the straw have to be down on the table, and the wrong side have to be facing up.
Okay.
So this is the length of the basket. So you only measure the length of the basket or whatever you're doing from the pattern.
Okay.
The width of it now, you have to measure from the length that is already down on top of the table. So you put it as 1 inch. And on this side, remember when we was measuring the length, we go 2 inches.
Yes.
But this for the width now, you don't have to go to 2 inches. You could go as close as ½ inch to the straw here. And then you cut your measurement again. You strip it as usual, like the first piece. And now we can start the weaving. So to begin your weaving, you do 1 up, 1 down. So every other one is up and every other one is down.
Okay.
Now for a beginner, they will need to put something to hold it down,
Okay.
because is how they start, because they will come back towards you.
And you mix up everything.
Yes.
Okay.
So what you're going to do now, you're going to weave. So you put this straw straight across like that. Those that you're not going to use, you bend them back. So when you strip it, you're not going to split them right off.
Okay.
You're going to leave this, because this will come to help to hold the straw.
Lock it in.
Yes.
Okay.
So you move away those pieces that you're not going to use, and you keep the only piece that you're going to weave with. Now you begin your weaving you have to start by the end, because anyhow you start in the middle, you don't get mixed up.
Okay.
You start at the end, so bring down the one and you curl up the one that is down. you have to make sure you pull it down so it reach the end, and so you have no space in between.
Okay.
So it's up. The one that is up, it comes down, and the one that is down, it goes up.
So it's a basic intertwining.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's one up, one down, one up, one down, one up, one down, up, down. So this is how it looks when it is completed. So after you finish with the weaving, you then move to the sewing machine. But this is your pattern, as I said before, so you will have to make your patterns, and in a case you don't cut the handle, this is where the you don't onto the weaving like this, turning the handle area up so that you could see. And then we start with the stitching.
It's still on the wrong side, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
So when this one is finished now, you have to stitch the handle as well. So that is why the marking out is turning up so that you could see what you're doing.
Okay.
So when you finish now, you have to just cut the excess off, cut it to the, you don't cut with no excess on, you cut it directly to the edge of the pattern.
Trying your best not to cut the pattern
Yes.
in the process.
Okay? So with this now, you could decorate it how you want to decorate it.
Okay.
You could put on flowers, sindens on the grenadines, anyhow you want to decorate it, you can do it. You could put on your name, however you wish to do it. So what we're going to do now, we're going to cover this with a piece of material. So you have to cut the material to size, but you have to cut it with a little extra. But because this one is just a piece of that left back and it could fit, we're gonna sew it on. So remember, I told you have to put the
Wrong side up.
up, and then you have to sew the handle in order to find it. So here is where you're gonna sew now. So you're gonna sew the handle like this. So here goes your first side of your basket. And you trim it. And here goes the first side of your basket. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take out the handle piece. Here goes the basket handle. So to complete this now, you have to go back to the sewing machine. This is a plaiting. We call this scallops.
Scallops.
Yes.
Okay.
It's made from the same pandanus, but we use it to cover the edge, as you see here on this one. First of all, you start by first thing you start with, you have to start below the handle. So you go down like this and you put it like that.
Is there a specific type of thread you use, or any thread with
For this,
yes, when you're sewing the basket?
well, we use ordinary sewing thread.
Okay.
You could use nylon thread as well. And when you're doing this, you have to have 2 pairs of scissors.
Right.
One for cloth and one for cutting the straw, because these things tends to dull the scissors. So now we're gonna sew on this piece of edging.
Well, do you normally sell your baskets retail or by order, wholesale by order?
Well, we sell retail and we sell wholesale as well.
And you sell mainly to the tourists?
We sell to tourists, we sell to locals, we sell to persons returning, nationals. We sell to other countries who see us on the Facebook page and want to do business with us. We sell to guest houses, hotels, restaurants. Have to be careful when you're holding these things because something the neighbor will suck your finger.
Yeah, that's happened to me before actually.
Okay. So this is how your first side of the basket
Okay.
is finished.
I'm seeing it come together.
Right. So you have to do both sides like how you do it here.
Okay.
So if you notice, we have the piece here. If you notice, we have one with pattern already. So once you have both sides, you just put them together like that because you have to have a centerpiece. So you have to have a centerpiece. And then you have to measure. But this piece is for another different
Okay.
basket. But so you have your centerpiece like that. You have to line it up. And then you line it up. Well, this is too long for this. This is for another one. So
Okay.
you see how it's gonna shape?
And you stitch that together?
Stitch it together all the way go around.
Do you use the same machine or you have to hand stitch?
You have to hand stitch. So we will show you how it is being hand stitched with the one that Andy is doing.
Okay. What kind of needle is that though?
These needles are absorbent Jackson and tablet big needles.
Okay.
Some people use them to sew shoes, but this is also just to take a pen and pull through and put it tight there. So that way when the basket is there, sewed or used, its durability is long.
Okay.
So normally when you start sewing, you start from the end. You make sure the centerpiece and the side piece meet.
Okay.
And then you just take the time and stitch it, come around. So when you finish stitching it now, we have to do a covering to cover up all of this.
The same edging that you used before. Okay.
Yes.
That we use here.
Okay.
To cover it.
And any stitch, you use any stitch or the same stitch on every basket? Like,
Well, you could,
Decide the basket to suit your needs. Because you could either use this try to use ribbon, depends on the person's order, because some people want the basket more cloth.
okay.
So you go according to the order and the edit.
And how long does it normally take you to do both sides, stitch both sides of the basket?
Well, I would say it does take a couple of hours depending on the schedule at time. Because this side here you use different pieces, so you have to keep throwing in the material as you go along.
How much baskets would you say you would do like per month?
Well, once the weaving is already done, it will be at least 20 to 40 baskets, depending on the basket. Once the weaving is done, if the weaving is not done, it will take more time. So less baskets have to be done.
So once, let me see. So once she would have finished this this side, the first sewing, what we normally do is we take a piece of straw like this, and we cover it up now. So we put it like that, over it like that, and we began sewing it like all the way through. Now this thread is a little too big for the needle.
How are you able to keep the consistency of the thread? Because it looked like it might. Does it break a lot? It looked like it might break a lot.
Depending on how thick, because when it first, you see, this thickness it would not break, but it will stick in. You just have to know the thickness it doesn't have to break in.
Okay.
And then as they split it down, maybe 3 or 4, that will be a thread.
And you determine the thickness of the thread by the size of the basket.
By the size of the needle,
By the size of the needle. Okay.
So you start by sewing it around like that, and then give it a nice finish coming down. We tend to use this thin needle because they're more pointy, and they punch through better, and they give you a better sew.
Is basket weaving one of the more popular crafts or skills that students would come to learn?
I don't think so. I think more students are now more into art, like paintings and so forth.
So most this is a dying craft?
I won't say it's a dying craft. I would say it picking back up. And we wish that more persons could come and learn this skill so it could continue. Most of the persons we have coming is more middle age.
Okay.
We don't really have like young persons from the school coming in. We only have middle age, like persons who are out of school already. And little, let me say between 28 and 50, 60.
Okay.
Because we have some persons coming here already over the age of 60.
How long have you been doing this, Mara? Teaching basket weaving and tie-dyeing and
I've been doing it for over 15 years now.
15 years.
Teaching, but the skills itself is something I've been doing from since I was a child. I born in it and I grew in it.
Okay. And you picked up this from a specific, what should I call it? A tribe, should I say? Is this something like the Kalinago or the Caribs used to do, or do you know the origins of basket weaving?
They used to do basket weaving back in those days, but it's a different type of basket because they used to more use the waste and the bamboo. Because the basket that they made used to be like basket to go fishing
And carry vegetables
and so forth.
Yeah.
Yes, and they will use that same basket for lunch. But the straw itself was way back from those days. But I picked up this from my mother.
Okay.
As a child growing up. Then there was this man, Pastor Haywood. He had a bunch of ladies who he taught the tube weave. I don't have any wrong here, so I could show you how the tube weave looking like. We had a breadfruit tree, and he used to be under the breadfruit tree. That was the center where he normally weave. So, as I said before, I grew up in it. And going to New Grounds Methodist School, there was a center next door. So lunchtime, break time, I was in that center as well. So that's how I learned to do all these different things.
And what made you start teaching it? Did you see the need for the skill to continue? Did you think it was profitable? Let me show others how to do this.
Yes, yes, I did. I wanted persons to learn how to do it so that it will remain. But you're not seeing a lot of people coming through.
But it's profitable within itself, is it not?
It is. It is profitable.
And if people who are watching out there want to get into this and they're interested in sending their children, how do they get on to you? How do they find you?
Well, they could go to the Adult and Continuing Education Office on this street down where Brown's office is, across from Vige's Restaurant, before you meet Vige's Restaurant. Or they can come to the craft shop in French's and register. And once we have a class starting, we will let them know. And normally they could go on the Adult Education Facebook page as well.
You can register there on their Facebook page?
I don't know if they could register, but the number is there. They could use the number from there to call. And email address is there as well. They could email from there. But everything that Adult Education do, they post it.
Okay.
So persons could apply.
All right. Let me ask you something. As a parent, and I'm looking at this and I'm seeing how useful this skill can be, do you think this is something that schools should incorporate in their syllabus as something extracurricular that the children can learn how to do?
I would say yes, because we need the younger persons and the children from as low as grade 2 to start it. Because if they start from an old age, it will gravitate into the mind. So, but if you start them at a age like say grade 6, and
they might have lost interest.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
So we encouraging the teachers them to come and learn it too, so that they could teach it. Because we have about 3 to 4 teachers. We have from CW Prescott who come to class to do the basket weaving. But today we're not seeing them today because they're probably busy or something.
Okay.
But they normally will come to do the
So you normally have 4 or 5 persons in your class?
More than that.
Okay.
Our last class was how much, Andy? Yeah, so we have to move to a different location.
Okay. And it's just you two? It's just you and, what's our friend name here?
Andine.
Andine. It's just you and Andine here teaching
today.
For now. Okay,
Yeah.
just today.
Yeah.
What do you do with the thread verse, Andine?
Well, usually to check what we just change the thread and hide it under the work.
Okay. So it's not something that you have to start over the process?
No.
Oh, good.
Just stay and start again.
Try to check what's up here.
Okay.
So that one that she's doing there now, she's gonna sew it all the way around.
Like that?
So she's gonna sew it all the way around, and like how this one is sewn.
So that's the end product right there?
Yes, all the way around like this. And as you see, you could do whatever handle you want.
Okay.
So we use a band and then we decorate it with this straw. We use this string straw and we twist it into a rope.
I think that one is more authentic.
Yes.
How durable is it? How long will one of those baskets last?
Very long. As long as you take care of it, they could last you a lifetime. If you make some
cleaning, how do you clean it?
You just take a piece of cloth and wipe it.
Okay.
And they don't really need cleaning because, for instance, the lunch basket. If we do a lunch basket, but what we will do, we will put a piece of plastic on the inside. But for this now, somebody will take this with the books or the file, or they might take it to church with them. So you don't really need cleaning because there's nothing throwing away inside of it. If it's dust, you just dust it off and you're good to go. Some people put varnish on them, clear varnish, to keep them. Some leave them just like that.
And you can also paint it?
Yeah, anything you want to do with it. Anything you want to do with it, you can do.
You can dye. You can dye it.
Oh, you can dye it. Okay.
Yeah, but we don't have the dye here to dye. We don't have the dye here to dye this straw right now.
How hard is it to get the raw material to this? Do you have to travel far to get the straw you need, or you source it right here in St. Vincent?
We source it right here in St. Vincent, but we're having a problem now with it. A lot of people cutting them down. They're born in the fields, so we don't have a lot right now. And then with the sulfur, the eruption of the volcano, it damaged a lot of the trees. Some of them now pushing themselves back out.
Okay.
So,
and how long does it take for them to grow?
A long time.
Wow.
Very long. I never really pandanus. But here in St. Vincent, we call it penguin straw scrupine.
Okay, the penguin straw.
Oh, scrupine, yeah. I never really monitor the time it takes to grow, but I know it takes a long time because I plant one behind there and it takes about, say, 4 to 5 years before it reach to maturity, where I can at least go and
use it to make a basket.
Yeah. So we want to encourage persons to stop cut down the trees, stop burn them down, so that they could continue to grow and persons would continue to go and get the material to do their craft and make a living for themselves.
And what's the other material you use?
We use the vetiver grass.
Okay.
So we use that to do mat for the floor. We do big rugs. We do waste paper basket, laundry basket, even fruit basket. Anything you want to do with it, you could use it to do table mat as well.
That's so awesome and interesting.
Yes, because if you can see here, we have some product here from the vetiver grass.
Okay.
So this right here is a basket for trash.
Okay.
It's a waste paper basket.
This is much different.
Yes,
much
and more sturdy. Very sturdy. So it's a waste paper basket. So just to clean up now.
All right.
So normally, this is the material that we're using. It is called pandanus. Some people call it scrupine, penguin straw, copia. So this is how it is grown. These are the roots, as you could see them. That is the root of it. This also can be used for making basket, but you have to pong it. You have to pong it and then wash them. So normally we use the dry ones. When we want them green, white, we will cut them, boil them, put them in the sun, and the sun will just bleach them out. So when you're doing this, you need to buckle up yourself properly. You have to have long sleeve shirt, long sleeve pants. You have to wear gloves, cover your head. You could use a goggles to cover your eyes in case any of this straw decide to choke you in your eye. Also use a dust mask because they carry a lot of dust. But because we're not climbing the tree today, because sometimes the tree grows so high you have to climb the tree. But because we're not climbing the tree today, I'm not wearing my gears because I'm just gonna stand on the outside and cut off some of the branches. So I'm gonna start from here. So what I do, I will pull them down. And you have to be careful because these stones struck very hard. So I'm just gonna pull them down like this. And if you could see the ants coming out from the tree, that is mostly what you will meet in the tree, ants and red ants. You don't really get no centipede, scorpion and them kind of things, don't really the inside of the trees. Iguana does live in these trees as well. So you just cut off these pieces. So what we just do, we just cut out the heart of it. We just cut out the hard part of the tree, which is this part here. But you cut it in a way that it could grow back. So when you cut it like this, you don't cut it right in, so it grows back up, out, and produce more. Now the hard part of the tree is what does give you the white straw. So we're just gonna cut out a few pieces. If you look at my hands, all these markings that you are seeing here, all these markings, all those are from what you get, because sometimes when you go on the tree, these sleeve roll up and then they will just gash you like that. But they normally go away after a while. Some people, they mark for life, but my mark, they take their time and they gradually go out. So what we're going to do now, we're going to prepare them for the fire, for the hot water. So we normally roll them so that they could fit into whatever we boil them. Now we're using a pot, a small pot today, because we're not doing a lot. But normally we use a half a drum. When we're doing a big portion, we use a half a drum. You could fit two together as well if you wish to, or you could roll them one at a time. Sometimes like when it's small like this, I roll them two together so that I could get the job done fast. Now these are the ones that will come out white. The younger ones, you notice the top of them white, and these ones green. So these are the younger ones, and these are the older ones. So you just roll them like that, and you have to keep your gloves on because It shook you up very. So you keep your gloves on at all times.
Those trees are very rare because a lot of people keep on cutting them down and they take a long time to grow up.
Yeah, they take a long time to grow. Especially if you plant them from scratch, they take a very long time. And people cutting them down, they burning fire in them. So it's like a scarcity right now. And with the eruption of the volcano, it damaged a lot of the trees. So right now you don't have much of material. That tree in the back there, I planted it some years ago. And it takes a very long time before it starts producing material. But now it reached a mature stage. And they grow very taller than that still. Much taller. So this is how it is. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put some in the pot with the hot water. So the water have to be boiling because you're not going to keep them long in the water. So it have to be boiling before we put them in. As I said before, we're doing a small portion today, so we're using a small pot. Normally, we use a bigger drum, a half a drum to do this. You could put in as much as the pot can hold.
How do you know when it's ready to?
Well, you're just giving them a few minutes. And so once you put it like that and the water is not covering, you just rest a stone and then they go down into the water. So it's bubbling, so you know the water is boiling. So then you just give them a few minutes. So we're gonna cover this to keep in the heat. I'm just gonna put some wood to keep the fire going. So you give it's like if you're scalding them. So you give them like 3 to 4 minutes in the boiling water. That is why the water have to boil up, because you don't need to boil them. Because sometimes some people do them until the water start to turn green, but no. Just is calling there. You can notice the difference with the one that went in and the one that is out. So what we normally do now, we roast them out like this. We left them in the sun. So we just throw them in the sun just like that. And the sun will bleach them. Well, normally between the space of 3 days, once the sun hot like this, 3 days and that's it, they're ready to go.
What about the spiky one? They cut off the edges?
You have to cut off the edges, but when they dry, when they finish dry, you have to cut off the edges and the middle part of it. This one already dried on the tree.
Guys, that is the end of our handcrafted basket. How to do, should I say. Well, we want to thank you again for having us and for educating us on this absolutely amazing craft that you take the time out to teach. Before we go, could you just tell us one more time how, if anybody's listening, if anybody's watching, how do we get in touch to you here at the Adult and Continuing Education Department?
So they can call me at 492-1374. Or as I said before, they could go by the office and register. I don't really remember the number for down there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So they can contact me at 492-1374.
And that, folks, is how it's locally made. Right here on IKTV channel 112. Join us next week for another edition.